we move across to Murmac, we drilled also first pass testing. There were 15 holes completed across our three, what we call corridors. That's at Pitchvane, Armbrust, and Howland. Now those corridors comprise these graphitic packages of graphitic units, and the idea was to really test again. We acquired some VTEM data and had some gravity data, and as a first pass to understand the nature of these conductors and see if we could pick up the right signs for these deposits. Again, you know, the graphitic units don't outcrop, so we want to, and these had never been properly tested, these conductors. So this is an initial pass at testing that, and we saw the graphite, we saw structure alteration, and we did get uranium. You know, in 6 of the 15 holes we had an anomalous uranium, including up to around 0.2% in hole 2, which is over here on the Armbrust corridor, and in hole 12, which is on the Howland corridor. At the Pitchvane corridor, we also saw some broader zones of mineralization, no high grades yet, but certainly looking positive. We were immediately south of some historical drill holes that had grades of over 1%, but didn't test the same, what we believe is the prospective structure there. So we think there's lots more to do. As a lot of people will tell you in the Athabasca Basin, just because there's some historical drilling, it doesn't necessarily mean too much, and you've got to get into the right fault, the right target zone before you can follow those high grades out along strike. So we definitely see a lot of potential here. What we should also just point out here is that historically, what we can see here in these yellow triangles or dots are some of the historical assays that were the highlight assays that were over 1%. So there's a huge endowment of uranium here, both in outcrop and boulders. And you can see the drill holes, these little black dots on the project. Now, what was typically done historically was they found uranium on surface, either outcrop or sometimes boulders, and would often then chase those target areas and really just drill on the mineralization or on structures. And that was primarily in these granitic rocks. There's been little to no testing really in the graphitic horizons, and that's what we are looking to do. Just to look at some of the mineralization examples from our drilling, you know, our geologists, you know, including myself, we've all worked for uranium companies and been involved with discoveries. We're really excited by what we're seeing here. You know, we're seeing in hole 2, looking at this quartzite that's hematized, and then this nice graphitic units with structured, and lower down, seeing some mineralization in that 0.18% here. In hole 13, this is on the Pitchvane corridor, a really nice graphitic palitic unit with this patchy hematization and some mineralization, and just some of the alteration in some of the holes that had some anomalous uranium. You know, these hydrothermal hematites showing these redox boundaries and strong graphite with structure. We are getting in places these white clays, which are often associated with these deposits, and then yeah, lots of patchy. We're seeing just lots of hematite coming through here. So really favorable alteration.